And now it's recording. So can you ask that question again, Hatham? Because that was a good question.
What is the difference between the normal grading system, which is A, B, C, and D, and F, and the pass or no pass credit? And does that affect my credit or my GPA at all?
Super good question. Okay, so here's the difference. If you are graded in the traditional manner with the letter grade, A, B, C, D, F, right? That goes into your GPA. So if you have an A in the class, I would definitely, for sure, 100% do the letter grade because that will only help your GPA.
Okay.
I probably would keep the B too. Why not? That's an above average grade, right? But that is your choice. Like if some people just want straight A's, they want a 4.0, totally cool, whatever you are wanting, right? Some people don't want C's, so they may choose to do pass no credit. 70% is a C and 70% is a P, pass. So a C and a P are equal.
Cool. Okay.
But a P is not figured into your GPA. You still successfully complete the class. So it's perfectly fine. You have done the class, but it's not figured into your GPA. Now, a D and an F, they are also figured into your GPA. So if you get a D or an F, that is figured into your GPA, and that would hurt your GPA, right? Because it's below average.
Yep.
And they equate to no credit. Okay. So if you have a D or an F, you may want to choose the no credit option because then that does not get figured into your GPA. However, there is a caveat here. If you're getting a D, this is all financial aid, okay? For financial aid purposes, a D is technically passing for financial aid, not necessarily for the college. So like if you got a D in this class in 860, you would still have to retake 860 because you have to have 70% in order to move on. Okay. That's super confusing, and I understand that. But sometimes it's better to take the D, even though you're still going to have to retake whatever class it is, because your financial aid will say that, oh yeah, they completed the class because it's still a passing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So if you have a D, I would talk to somebody, like talk to a counselor, talk to a financial aid person, and make sure that you're doing the best thing for you. Does that make sense? If you can get by with doing a no credit and still your financial aid's fine, great. But I don't know that. And I am not a specialist in financial aid by any stretch of the imagination. So you should check on that. But you're not getting a D, so it doesn't matter, at least in this class.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that is something that you need to investigate. Now, this semester, because of the COVID-19 thing, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. It's just all GPA that you're looking at or your financial aid stuff. In a normal semester, so next semester, usually if you choose to do pass, it's just fine, right? Just doesn't get, it's perfect no matter what. Okay. It just doesn't get figured into your GPA. But the no credit means that you didn't successfully complete the course, and that usually they are figuring out what the acronym is SAP. It's a SAP score. It's Satisfactory Academic Progress, which just means that you have to have a certain number of credits in like a certain percentage of your credits have to be successfully completing classes. And that's cumulative over all of your classes that you take. So this is another thing that's super confusing. So if you take a no credit, you don't get progress for your SAP score. and your SAP score has to be at 67% completion. So if you were taking 4 classes, 4 credits each, okay, 16 credits, and you decided to withdraw or take a no credit for one of those classes, you're still 75% satisfactory academic progress as long as you're passing all of those classes, right?
Yep.
If you decide to withdraw or take a no credit for 2 of them, and you might have A's in both of the other ones, it doesn't matter, because you might have a 4.0, but you would only have a 50% completion rate if this was your freshman, like your first semester in college, right? Does that make sense?
Yep. It does.
Okay, and then the next semester you would have more credits, but they look at everything you've taken. So if you take 4 more classes with 4 credits each again, you can dig yourself out of that hole of 50% completion if you complete all 4 of the other ones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That makes sense? So
Yep, it does make sense.
you have to look at everything you've taken, and you have to have 67% of all credits that you've taken be successful.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, talk to your counselor. They can look at your stuff and make sure and help you with that.
Is there a deadline to change it, or no?
Hold on. Let me look in my email. I think we got an email about it today, and I was just looking at it. So let me just, you can't see this yet. I will share my screen when I get it. All right. I'm sharing my screen. Hold on. There we go. All right. All right. So here's my mail. And here is the, okay, I have to move you guys because I can't see. Oh, okay. I'm moving you again. Come on. There. Okay. So you can see here it says pass no credit option. The pass no credit grading method is available for any spring 2020 class. And by the way, I should also tell you this. Usually you can only do pass no credit for those classes that are numbered below 1,000. So 960 you can, 900 you can, 860 you can, 800 you can, and then math has like some that I can't remember, like 690 and 990, I think. And then any EAP classes that are below 1,000. So usually in a normal semester, this would not be an option for like freshman composition. It would not be an option for any of your like chemistry or biology or history or poli-sci or sociology. None of them would have that option, but because of the COVID-19 thing and how crazy everything is, and how, this is something that the college is doing to help students, because nobody had any kind of control over what happened. And nobody in my class, for sure, signed up to be in an online class. Yeah. Right. And some people didn't have access, and, there was so many things that, and, people are trying to homeschool their kids and do their home, it's crazy. And so this is one way that the college is trying to help with that. So that's why you have the option for all of your classes this semester. Okay, so that's what this is saying. The no credit grading method is available for any spring 2020 class. Before choosing this option, students should review the updated academic information during COVID-19, and I'll click on that in a minute. To ensure they fully understand the implications, students can make their selection using grade method change e-form found in pass no credit grading option. Okay, so I can also forward this to everybody too if you want it, but I'm going to click on this and see what it says. Okay, so this is just on the website, right? This is in coronavirus information. And I believe that that's right here. You just click right here. And so then you have this extended withdrawal deadlines are over, but pass no credit grading option is here. You just click on it, and it gives you a whole bunch of information. And I'm not going to read this to you, but I can put the link in D2L. Would you like that? Should I put that link in D2L so everyone can get there? I have a note. I'll put it in the announcements after we're done. How does that sound?
Great.
Anybody have any other questions about that?
No.
Okay. All right. So this is our last gathering. And I'm glad to see at least some people showed up because I would like you to ask me questions about the practice test, because the next test is our final exam and our final test. So I posted that last week. I hope you have looked at it and done some work on that so I can help you. And then we will be able to move on. And I'm going to see if I have it down here, which I might not. Because my computer crashed yesterday, so it might have gone away. And it did. So I'm going to pull it up, and so we can look at it together. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. You don't need to see my thing. I don't know how to stop share now. Oh dear, you're in my way. There we go. Stop share. There. All right, I'm going to find my crap, and then I will share my. You don't need to watch me search through. Why don't you find your stuff? Do you have questions while I'm searching?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? Was it easy?
I honestly haven't done all of it. Like I did like I like went through the stuff that was kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all right.
It was all right.
Yep.
Good. All right, I'm almost ready. There we go. All right, I will share again, and it's a mess, but I will share again. There we go. All right, so here's the yellow ribbon. Did anybody read that? Or did you guys just do
the
that?
yellow ribbon? I think
Yeah.
it's a did.
There we go. I'm trying to get it all on one page here if I can. So we can look at all of it together. There's that. And we can see the test too. Good. All right. All right, so I'm ready. Do you guys have questions? What was hard?
Can we go over question 4?
Question 4, which is the fill in the formula.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember this is red, so it's not going to actually be on the test, but
Okay.
it's good for you to know what this is because you're going to use this information. So what do you think are on these blanks? Just guess, Anna. What do you think? Anna, sorry. I have another Anna, so I'm sorry, Anna. What do you think? What plus what equals what for inference? What are we looking at? Maybe we should define it first.
Yes.
That might be easier. So how are you defining inference, you guys?
It's an idea of a test.
Yes. So okay, I want this to be black. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So to figure out, right?
Mm-hmm.
An idea.
Yes.
Yep.
Of the authors.
Using
The contents.
using what?
Using the contest or idea. No.
Well, we already have idea. Idea is one part that we need, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is important. But how do we figure out the idea? What do we use?
Background knowledge includes
Yep.
in the content.
Background knowledge. Oops. And what do you mean by content?
The
Clues.
What?
Clues.
Yep.
Clues in the content or in the text that provided by the author.
Yeah. So text evidence, right? We need text evidence. So we need to figure out an idea using background knowledge and text evidence. And what is the other really important thing to remember about inference?
Has to be logical.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But what do we know about inference? Think back to the dog story. Remember the dog story? About my dog?
Yes.
Nowhere to be
Yes.
found over here. So how did you figure out what it was about? You used your background knowledge and your text evidence, but what didn't you have? The idea was it in the text or not?
Yeah, to draw on from evidence,
Yes.
and also our guesses.
Yes, because the idea is not
direct.
Yeah, inference
Not
is
stated.
Start.
not
No direct start.
not stated, right? An inference cannot be stated.
Yes, it's not stated. Okay, we had
Right?
it in yes.
So yes, so I wrote define inference. Inference is, I should have that in there. And then I have to,
So
there.
we can say inference is an idea that not stated.
Yep, and you have to figure it out using background
Using
knowledge.
our guesses and
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't want you to use guess because you're not really guessing. You're using evidence both from your background knowledge and from your text evidence. It's not a wild guess.
Okay.
Okay, so an inference is to figure out an idea using logic, background knowledge, and text evidence when the idea is not stated in the text. Right? So that's something that you really need to know the definition in order to do the test. Now, I'm not going to ask you the definition because I'm not testing you whether you can copy something out of your notes. Right? But I would have this in your notes and I would have this down so you know exactly what an inference is because your whole test is going to be on inference. And if something is stated in the text and you write it down as your answer, you're going to get it wrong because I'm looking for your inferences, not from things that are stated in the text. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so if we go down here to do a formula for Anna, what would we put here? Blank plus blank equals what?
Background knowledge and
Yep. So background knowledge.
text evidence.
That's evident.
Oops.
Equal
I think these are
inference.
for people that are using pencils, not for me. There we go. Plus text evidence equals
Inference.
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 Right? And then same with the Venn diagram, what would go here in this circle? In this part of the circle, it would be background knowledge, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And in this part of the circle would be
Text
Text
inference.
evidence.
text evidence, and where they
Evidence.
overlap would be,
Inference.
Inference.
does that answer your question, Anna?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions that you want to go over?
No.
So the like following the first like after that it's the fly. So whatever is not in the red, that will be included in the test.
Right, it will not be the same text. There will be a different poem or a different reading here, right? But it will be just like this. It will be a reading where you're going to have to interpret using your background knowledge and the text evidence to get the answers. So in this poem by William Blake, it says, "Little fly, thy summer's play, my thoughtless hand has brushed away. Am I a fly like thee? Or art thou not a man like me? For I dance and drink and sing till some blind hand shall brush my wing," right? So then we have to figure it out. The narrator has played with the fly, lightly brushed the fly away, or killed the fly. What do you think?
If I say played with the fly, am I correct? That's what I said. No?
It's killed the fly.
Oh.
It's killed the fly because listen to again. Little fly, thy summer's play. So you have to picture in your head, this is a fly. This is a metaphor, right? He's using the fly as a metaphor. Little fly, thy summer's play, my thoughtless hand has brushed away. So it's not literal because remember, this is an inference text, right? We're doing inference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be that he lightly brushed the fly away because that says it right here. And we know that we're not being literal and we're not using exacting from the text, right? You know that an inference is not stated, right? So it can't be B. And he's not really playing with it. He's brushing it away. So that means, you know, it's away. He's not playing with it. So he killed the fly. And now he's saying, the narrator compares himself to
Like a fly?
a fly, right? Yes, that is exactly what this is. It's a metaphor. It's a comparison to a fly. And the narrator feels his life is
Enjoyable?
enjoyable. Yeah, he's dancing and drinking and singing, right? That's fun.
Yeah.
So he's enjoyable. And then we can conclude that the image of a wing being brushed away symbolizes
Dying?
dying. Yeah, which goes back to this. So it's a little bit easy, right?
Yeah.
Repetitive. So you have to, when you're in the test on, well, it can be any time now, it's open, right? You're going to read that passage and you're going to have to do some interpretation just like this. The same kinds of questions, okay? But it will be a different text. All right, so remember that it cannot be stated and that it's not literal because this is an inference test, okay?
Okay.
How did this one go for you?
Yeah, these two was hard for me.
This one
I
was hard.
couldn't find, yeah.
So I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. We isolate our teenagers from the world, quarantining them in school buildings. And isn't that interesting? Interesting on words there with the quarantining. Didn't notice that before. Okay, we isolate our teenagers from the world, quarantining them in school buildings. We give them little responsibility and demand of them even less. By cutting them off from the adult world where they could develop a sense of competence and belonging, we leave them alienated and open to joining gangs that will give them a sense of belonging. And many of us have turned away from the human values that have served all the generations that came before us. We act as if enduring values are not important, and then we wonder why our children often seem so morally adrift. Okay, so maybe there's some vocabulary in here that you probably need to look up, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does adrift mean?
Is
Morally,
it shifted?
yeah, morally adrift means that they don't have morals anymore, right? They're drifting away from the morals, right? Anything else that you need defined?
Yeah, alienate.
Alienated?
Yeah.
Leave them alienated. So if you alienate somebody, you are closing them off from your group,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes friends decide not to be friends with one person in their group and they alienate them, right? They kind of ignore them, they don't include them, they do stuff without them, right? And then the person that's being left out feels alienated. And so do you see the little word alien in here? You see that?
Yeah.
So an alien means otherworldly, not in the world that you're in, right? They're other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it says, what do you infer this author believes about American teenagers? Now remember, you can't write down something that's stated.
I think the author infers that the American teenagers are not paid attention enough.
Lack of responsibility.
But it says that right here, right? So it's already stated. We give them little responsibilities already in there. So that's not an inference, right?
Mhm.
So we don't pay enough attention to them. Anything else? Do we ignore them? As a society, do we ignore teenagers?
Yes.
Ignore them. This is basically saying the same thing, right? That Hatham said. Ignore them. And doesn't he have an argument here? We shouldn't do that. Right? Oops.
Yeah.
We shouldn't do that. He's saying that, he's clearly thinks that we're not doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
So what do you infer that this author thinks about American society? What does he think we should do?
Right. We should pay more attention to teenagers.
Right? Okay, we should include them.
Okay.
Right? That's what he's saying. He wants us to include them. He's like, let them participate in the adult world, right? It says right here, by cutting them off from the adult world where they could develop a sense of competence and belonging. That's what he wants, right? He wants them to be included. All right, so in the test that you will be taking, you are going to have another couple paragraphs like this. What I didn't do was I didn't have you have to come up with things. It's a multiple choice answer, but I want you to be able to read this the same way. Okay? You have to be careful about the things that are stated, because it's really easy. I don't know what it is about this paragraph, but it's really easy to think it's not stated, just like Luis did, where he said, oh, they don't have enough responsibility, but it's right here in the text. So whatever you write down or whatever you choose, make sure that you go back and check the text to make sure it's not stated. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then did you guys read the yellow ribbon?
Yes, I did.
How'd you like it? It's such a great story.
Yeah.
I like it too.
And
So you're
yeah,
going to
yellow
have
ribbon.
a couple of vocabulary words that you're going to figure out. And then you're going to have to figure out a thesis statement, right? And then there's going to be a couple of specific paragraphs that you're going to have to look at and do main idea, pattern of organization. And then there are going to be some open-ended questions just like this, okay? And some of them are going to be finding figurative language. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, you guys, if you have specific questions, I will answer anything you want me to answer. But I don't want to read the whole thing. I think that that's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
But if you guys have questions, I am willing to answer anything you want. And then a little reflection. And on the actual final, there's also a letter that I want you to write to me. I do that in every final exam. Usually our final exam would be on The Other Westmore, which we did not read, so we're not doing that. But please just write the letter. It doesn't matter what you write. I don't grade you on the content of your letter. It's just a completion, so don't skip it, okay? Because I want to hear your feedback, so be sure and do that, okay?
Okay.
Anything else that you need from me? All right, I'm going to stop sharing then. Any questions about homework or anything? The jacket, or I just did completion points for that. The jacket and the cartoon. Did you get the cartoon?
Yeah, I was curious what everybody answered on that one.
Do you want me to bring up the cartoon? I'm gonna make you happy about this. This is awesome. Let's see. Oh dear. Okay, try and find it here. Okay, hold on. I have to find it. Again, I have to search around, so just a minute. You don't need to see the recipes I have up and stuff. Although you might like them, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out more recipes since I have to cook all the time. It's annoying. All right, lesson plans. Okay, I found it. Here we go. I'll share again. Okay, here you go. Here is the cartoon. So first of all, what's the topic?
Education.
Education, yeah, absolutely, education. And do you think this author is excited about our educational system or doesn't like our educational system? Positive or negative, do you think?
Some doesn't like it.
How come?
Good question. Assuming that the author is complaining about the way that teachers or the education system is going right now, that every student is taught the same thing in the same way.
And they have to think the same way as the teacher.
Yes.
Okay. And there were some people that thought that this was positive, that the teacher was teaching and everybody was getting the information they needed. Right? I think that this is a more negative view of education as well, because the author is saying that the teacher is clipping all of the students' ideas away, and that she only lets them think exactly the way she thinks. Right? Group think. And okay, I have my own bias as a teacher, right? This is certainly not what I want. I want to make sure that everybody is thinking on their own and thinking, right? I'm trying to teach you how to think, not what to think. Does that make sense?
That's a good way of looking at it.
So I thought it was negative as well. So I don't know. I mean, I see both sides, but I want to teach students how to think, not what to think. Like your opinions and your ideas are valid, and you just need to know how to back them up and valid, to justify your thinking, right? What we can't do is just have opinions out there that are wild. You have to ground them in something, right?
Yeah.
And so my job is to teach you how to do that and how to reevaluate your thinking if it doesn't have any justification.
Interesting.
Right?
I see
Yeah.
in the cartoon, I see Matt teaching us how to read.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I hope that I didn't clip your ideas away. I don't want to do that. So education, and then the controlling idea is that teachers teach people what to think, right? So,
Yes.
and then that is a negative, right? I think. Maybe you think something else, but I think it's negative. I wouldn't want to tell you I wouldn't want to tell you what to think. Everybody has valid opinions as long as they're not based on a whim, right? And I guess I can be more specific. Like there are ideas that are based in racism, for example, right? I would hope that you would be able to, after you learn how to justify your thinking, that you would think, oh, this is just how I feel because of being brought up in a racist country, right? In our culture. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that it's true. It means that that's how our culture, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yep, it does, definitely.
Okay. All right. Anything else that I just don't want to let you go because I don't think I'm going to see you guys again. I'm so sad about it. All right. Well,
I have a question about the test you just sent.
Sure.
Posted. Yeah, I have the same problem as the other one when I try to load to the Word so I can do the test. It's not allow. It's allowing me to download, but I can't like type.
Okay, so Bintu, I will okay. Can we try two things? Can I have you try something first? And if it doesn't work, then I will share it with you. But can you get into your 365 account?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Right
if you
now.
can get in there,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can, I don't have your computer, so I'm not sure exactly how to do it. But
Okay.
okay, so can you see my this is the practice test right here. Can you see that, Bintu?
Yes.
And can you see this auto save thing up here? Right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I would like you to try is to go
Mhm.
into your 365 account, like be logged in to that. And then
Okay.
go back to the downloaded document
Okay.
and turn this on. And you just
Then
have
which one?
click on it. I'm clicking, and then you just turn it on like that.
Okay, I'm coming.
And then you can say upload, just like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
go into your 365 account,
Mm-hmm.
and then you should be able to type. Now, if it doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
email me right away,
Okay.
and then I will share it with you.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, but I
I'm
want
gonna-
you to try it first so you know how to do that in case we're online again in the fall. That's something
Mhm.
that you're going to have to figure out. So I want you to try it on your own first. But if it
Okay.
doesn't work, I'll share it with you. Don't worry. And I'd much rather have you type. It's just easier for me to read.
Read.
So,
Okay.
so let's figure it out. Okay. Even if we have to do a little Zoom and figure it out together, we'll do that. Okay.
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 Mhm.
Cool. All right.
Miss Meg, another question about your books that we borrowed. Do you still want your James Ford
Yes, please.
book or?
I do. I went in last week and I made a box, and I wrote this on I wrote this on an announcement page, but I'm glad that you asked because I wanted to talk about it anyway. So on campus, the campus is open.
Okay.
You have to go during the day. I think it's open like 8 to 5 or something, and I'm not sure about that. You can look it up online.
Okay.
But you have to go into the fine arts door, and the fine arts door is just like if you're facing the building, it's to the left of the main entrance, down the sidewalk a little bit, and you'll see cars there. The main entrance is closed because they're doing construction, so you won't be able to get in the main entrance, and you won't be able to get in any other door. They're all locked. So the only door that you can go in is the fine arts entrance. And if you walk in those doors, there's a desk right when you get in, and public safety is there. And all you would have to do is say, I have a book for Meg Hatton, and she said she had a box, and it's behind the desk. So like if you were going to walk by the desk, all right, so here. So I'm going to say, can you see this? If this is the sidewalk right here,
Okay.
this is the door. You'd walk in and this would be the desk. So you'd walk in and the desk is kind of to your right,
Okay.
and you'd walk around the desk and there's a drinking fountain like right over here against the wall. My box is right there. So it's kind of behind the desk, and there's going to be a public safety person there anyway. They will point you to the direction. All you have to do is drop it in the box. That's it.
You got it.
I would really appreciate getting the books back.
Yep.
There are a lot out there, and I of course don't want to not let people borrow them. I don't regret letting you borrow them, but and I'm not teaching 860 in the fall, but if I go back to teaching 860, I'm going to want to be able to lend out books again. And I've purchased a lot of them with my own money, and
Yep.
I
Definitely.
would really like them back if possible. So thank you. I
You
really
got it.
appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. You guys, I love you. And I just am been so privileged to be able to have you in my class. And I'm so proud of you for getting through the semester. It's been just wonky and crazy. And I just am very proud of you. And I just hope that you've gotten out a lot out of the class, even though we've been online. I know that that's been really hard. And I'm just want you to know how proud of you I am. Just so proud. And would you please come and see me if we're on campus in the fall? Come and check in and let me know how you're doing. And if you ever need help with anything, email me. Okay. Once I'm your teacher, I'm always your teacher. I'll do whatever I can to help. Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. Appreciate it.
You guys have a great week. Good luck on your final. Let me know if you have questions.
Thank
And-
you. We
and
will.
Have a great summer. Have a great summer.
We'll see how that goes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
All right. All right. I will see you guys later. And I'm going to stop recording now.